Hi, New Life family. Welcome. It's so great to be able to worship with you and be able to say hello. Today we have some great music and we have a testimony from Masonne, and it's just going to be a great time, and we're so grateful that we're able to come together and worship together as a community. So again, welcome.
I give you glory for all you've brought me through. And now I'm ready for whatever you want to do. I'm moving forward to follow after you. And now I'm ready for whatever you want to do. Come now, Lord, like never before. Your presence is an open door. So come now, Lord, like never before. In every season, your grace has been enough, and I'm believing the best is yet to come. The cross before me, my hope on things above, and in you, Jesus, the best is yet to come. Your presence is an open door. We want you, Lord, like never before. Your presence is an open door. So come now, Lord, like never before. Your presence is an open door. We want you, Lord, like never before. Your presence is an open door. So come now, Lord, like never before. before.
Hey everyone, welcome back to New Life. We are so excited to spend tonight. We are braving the cold outside in this cold week in Southern California to spend time with one of our key members here at New Life. I'm going to let him introduce himself and tell him a little bit about what he does for a living, but we're going to hear about his story, and especially going through this past year. So yeah, hello, what's your name?
Hello, I'm Mason. I'm a registered nurse on a med-surg unit. Yeah.
Okay, so that's working at a hospital?
Yes, sorry, at an acute care hospital.
Okay. So have you been working this whole time over the past year?
Oh yeah. No breaks for nurses. So the thing about the unit that I work on is it's a surgical unit. So at the beginning of the whole pandemic situation, we were actually considered to be a clean floor, which means you don't want to mix like surgical patients and medical patients. COVID patients are considered to be medical. And so they try to keep us pretty clear of all the COVID just to prevent any more like spread of infections.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the hospital, which is common. But as we started hitting those waves of just more and more COVIDs, eventually they had to start admitting them to our unit as well. And so it kind of got a little dicey, but we did okay.
Okay.
I'd say so.
So with as those waves started coming more and more, how did COVID change kind of your workflow, your all the safety mechanisms at work? Was it a hassle? Was it stressful, and everything?
Oh yeah. Well, I would say during the beginning of it, it kind of was a little more stressful because at that time the CDC still wasn't clear on how it was spreading, so we were just taking every single precaution to prevent that kind of spread. So they were just stacking patients on us, COVID patients, and we kind of just had to like put every kind of PPE that we had on us. And then as kind of you could tell, the entire hospital system, not just ours, but like every hospital system, were just starting to run low on PPE. So that was a little stressful, kind of thinking, oh, I hope I don't catch it. I hope I don't spread it. I hope I don't bring it home. You know what I mean? So it was a little stressful, but then we started kind of getting a hang of it. Then when we started getting a hang of it, they started they call it waving ratios. So they were putting more patient to nurse ratios than we were used to. And it's a lot more, I wouldn't say hassle, but the workload increases, and I wouldn't even say it to a safe level.
Yeah. So what's the normal nurse to patient ratio, and then what were you guys looking at?
So for us, or in California, med-surg nurses is supposed to have 5 patients to 1 nurse. But with the increased ratios, they were increasing it to 7. 5 patients is already a lot to handle in one shift. So increasing it to 7, that kind of like, it's stressful.
Oh, I bet,
It is
I
a
bet.
stressful thing.
So talking about it being stressful, how did you feel mentally? How was your mental health? Were you finding ways to let out a lot of the stress?
Cope, yeah. It's hard. It's hard because you're taking a lot of, to be a nurse in this, to be a healthcare provider in this kind of field, you kind of have to take, how do you say it? Like, you have to take a lot of emotional and mental load from your patients because they're already in your care and they're going through a critical situation. It's never nice to be in a hospital. They're already worried, they're stressed, and they're counting on you to be their mental and emotional support, especially at this time because we're not even allowing visitors in the hospital anymore.
Yeah.
When that started, you couldn't even have your family members near you. So I can only imagine the kind of stress that they felt, the kind of mental and emotional strain. So for us, it's kind of like you have to be that support for them, and that kind of it's it's sometimes hard, but it's part of the job.
Where did you find a lot of the strength to be able to not only have the strength for yourself, but also to be there for your patients?
A lot of that came from my training from school, of course. But I mean, the biggest thing for me specifically, the whole reason I even got into this career, this whole field, is I felt that calling from God, that I needed to be able to do this, that I could and was able to handle this kind of stress and this kind of mental and emotional strain. That came to me very early on in my schooling. So, yeah.
That's awesome. So coming off of that, tell me a little bit about how your faith has played a role in your work life and your personal life over the past year.
Well, we were talking about earlier what kind of helps me to emotionally and mentally kind of stabilize, especially in this kind of pandemic in this field. I always take my time to I always take my time to pray and to just connect with God before, during, and after my shifts. It's the only real stable thing that can keep you strong when you're dealing with these kind of measures. Definitely with me. Yeah.
Yeah, wrapping up here, if you could go back, a year ago, we're almost exactly to a year ago that the first, quarantine order started here in the U.S.
That's right.
If you could give yourself a message, whether a lesson learned or a word of encouragement, what would that be?
Word of encouragement, I would say just stay strong, especially because you're dealing with people that are in a very sensitive situation. Like I said before, people, the moment they enter a hospital, they're already in crisis. So you have to be strong mentally and emotionally for them, especially since they're not allowing visitors in the hospital. They can't be near their family. The closest they can do is like a telephone call, and that's already kind of a disconnect. I would say just be patient and stay strong for the people.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Mason. Thank you for telling us a little bit about, your life, your work life this past year. Really appreciate your story. We just want to, again, encourage you. Thank you for sharing your story and continue doing God's work.
Thanks.
You're welcome. I would like to end by reading a psalm that I was reminded of during the interview with Mason. It's a psalm that brought me a lot of comfort as well during the start of COVID, during the start of quarantine, during the time where there was a lot of unknowns. I read this psalm a lot, and so I'd like to read it with you today. If you're going to be reading along, it's going to be Psalm 46. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore we will not fear, though the earth should change, though the mountains shake in the heart of the sea, though its waters roar and foam, and though the mountains tremble with its tumult. There is a river whose streams make glad the city of God, the holy habitation of the Most High. God is in the midst of the city. It shall not be moved. God will help it when the morning dawns. The nations are in an uproar. The kingdoms totter. He utters his voice. The earth melts. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Come, behold the works of the Lord. See what desolations he has brought on the earth. He makes war cease to the end of the earth. He breaks the bow and shatters the spear. He burns the shields with fire. Be still and know that I am God. I am exalted among the nations. I am exalted in the earth. The Lord of hosts is with us. The God of Jacob is our refuge. Be still and know that I am God. During Mason's interview, he mentioned that he would take time before work to be still and to pray, and to be with his God. And then that relationship with God is really what gave him strength to push on during the past year. So I would like to encourage you to do the same. During this week, find moments, find time during your day to be still, to pray, spend time in the Word, listen to God, so that He may be your strength and your refuge, so that you can be encouraged and uplifted. And not only that, but you can encourage and uplift those around you. Amen.
You will not relent, my God. Right beside me you have always been. When in pride I've pushed away, it's your mercy that has pulled me in. You won't walk away, won't give me up. I know your grace has forgiven much. You call me yours, how can it be? In awe again, here remembering, you won't give me up. And I will not refuse you, God. Right beside you is where I wanna be. Trust you with my heart and soul, trusting you with everything. You won't walk away, won't give me up. I know your grace has forgiven much. You call me yours, how can it be? In awe again, here remembering, you won't give me up. Jesus, you won't give me up. This I know for sure. How vast is the grace you gave. I'm free and forgiven. Your love is the safest place, the peace I will live in. Now I have eternity, and I'll sing of your truth, and no hope that will never fail. A love that is so true. Oh, grace upon grace again, forever found in you, Lord. For my Jesus, you've never failed. And oh, my Jesus, I'm holding on to you. I'm holding on to Jesus, I'm holding on to you, my Lord. You'll never leave us, Lord. Oh, yeah.
everyone, thank you again for joining us for Church Online. We can't wait to be able to worship in person with you again. In fact, there are some plans in the works to start almost as soon as next month. So be sure to follow our Instagram to stay up with all the latest details. If you would like to support this ministry financially, visit our description. There's a link to our website. I think there's even a direct link to the giving page. We could use your help. It takes money to make this ministry happen. And so thank you again for joining us for Church Online. Follow us on Instagram to stay tuned. If you'd like to be involved with this ministry, let us know. DM us, fill out a connect form, let us know. Until then, stay blessed, stay inspired. God bless.